Hi everyone, this is SunBurst Tarot here today, and I wanted to do a general reading on Britney Spears in honor of her new book coming out today, The Woman in Me. This is a huge thing I know that people have been talking about, and I really wanted to just do a general reading on Britney to see kind of what's coming up for her next with the release of her new book. That's kind of going over some of the things that she's had happen in her past. Kind of wanted to see how that's going to go over with like her fans, what's kind of coming next. Is this going to shake up the industry in any way? She's just such a icon in the music industry and has meant a lot to a lot of people. Just showcasing her struggles, her journey, and who she is as a person. So I'm really excited. I'm very happy to be able to kind of just do a general reading with Britney. And without further ado, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like or subscribe button down below, that would be greatly appreciated as I'm trying to grow the channel and get more people engaged. So without further ado, we can start into the reading. So just some first things. So all information shared here today is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Everything that is stated is not a fact and is only my opinion for what I'm seeing. So please do not go and use what's said here today against anyone. And I am just here to kind of help maybe clarify some situations or see what things are coming next. So, with that, the first question I actually have is that I really want to go into is, with the release of the book, how is the community going to take it? How are like industry insiders going to take it? And then how are like generally what is the book going to kind of represent? So with that, because I know so Britney's fans are amazing. Very caring, can be a little stifling. But I do believe genuinely care for Britney. So with that, I want to see how they're going to take the release of the book. So we'll do their card, and then I want to look at like industry insiders. So I know there was some talk and some chatter that she's going to go into some of the things that happened to her at the height of her career in the early 2000s. So, and I know there was a big thing with Justin Timberlake. So I wanted to kind of see, okay, so what is kind of like the industry insiders take on the book? And then I wanted to do a little bit of how the book's going to do, but then also let's actually take a look at her immediate family and like her mom, her dad, her sister, and see how they're going to kind of look at the book a little bit. And then we'll go into, and then we'll go to the next thing. So just taking a look at how the community is going to take the book coming out. Like I see the Emperor. I think they're going to love it, and I think they're going to see this as like kind of like a breakthrough moment of Britney taking her power back. I'm seeing like, I don't know, like it's the line of fans down the street like circling like maybe your local Barnes and Nobles trying to get the book, and like it's the screaming fans with the sign saying, "We love Britney, we love you." So I think this book is gonna go over extremely well with the fans, and I think it's really going to, help Britney not control, but I feel like it's going to be a really good thing for Britney to kind of be like, hey, to like her fans, and be like almost like a reassurance of like, hey, no, I've been in a shitty place, but you know what, where I'm at now, I'm on top. I'm still me. I'm here. And I think it's showcasing her strength. It's showcasing her loyalty. It's showcasing her being a powerhouse in the industry that she knows that she is, and what it's taken to get there. So I think the fans are going to the fans are going to love this. I don't think fans are going to love the book. They're going to see Britney as I think Britney has always been, but is now, like, the light is being shown on, like, this very, very confident person who knows who they are, knows where they stand, and knows how they want to say things. And when they want something, they're going to go after it. And it's not going to be like a flying off the handle willy-nilly. It's definitely going to be like, no, I have the steps, I have the improvements, I have everything in place to do this well, and not just well, but to the standards that I have set. So that's super cool. I'm happy to see that. Okay. So then looking at industry insiders, I'm like, even before I get into flipping the card over, I'm already seeing like backroom chatter, like over here, and then there's like someone whispering in the corner over there. Like, I'm seeing, it's not making waves, it's making people nervous. Because I think it might inspire other artists to write their own book or share their own experiences. And I think allegedly, I'm sensing a lot of money exchanging hands to keep stories out of the press as much as possible. That's just like the initial things that I'm getting from like industry insiders with this. Like, I see money exchanging hands. There's backroom conversations going on all the time. And yeah, so that's like just initial things I'm getting. So like just going over. So I have the Six of Swords. So for industry insiders, so some people will look at the Six of Swords as like the internet. Some people will see this as like a journey or moving to the next thing. Just feeling the card, like looking at the Six of Swords, and then with every like the downloads, like industry insiders are extremely nervous. I think there's gonna be a lot of things gonna get dug into. Old interviews, Entertainment Tonight, like. I think there's going to be a lot of digging when it comes from this book. I would not be shocked if you're going to see a tweet from 10, 15 years ago show up and be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So calling someone out or making a statement that they shouldn't have said. It can be interpreted like that, where it's everything that, and people who were kind of alluded to or mentioned in the book, like the amount of scrutiny from like the internet, like old interviews, old magazine articles. Like, I'm seeing someone going into like an old library and being like, I need the People magazine from like 2000, the October edition, where it was this story ran, and I want to see the quote from like this person who is mentioning like this general thing, and it was like almost like that was about Britney, and that's like the thing Britney will be mentioning in her book. So like really specific example there, but like that's what I'm feeling a little bit. The other interpretation of Six of Swords here is that the industry is like, okay, she just blacklisted herself. We're moving on to the next thing. We don't need her. It's like, okay, you had your thing. You did your thing. Okay, now they're just going to move on, and they're just going to keep moving their machine going. I don't believe it's that interpretation too much, because I think there is still a lot of money to be made with Britney, as I think Britney still has a huge, like her fan base is huge. Involving her in any projects, I think we are going to do spectacular. And I don't see many issue. Like, Britney is a amazing individual who, when she does something, a spotlight is shown on it because that is just the type of person that she is. So that's why I'm like, I'm still seeing more of the people mentioned or alluded to in this book. There's only so much you can hide from, or there's only so much you can like try and like move on from. I have a feeling a lot of stuff's going to get drudged back up. To be 100% honest with industry insiders, and industry insiders are going to try and keep it as quiet as possible. But I feel like there's going to be a huge, I guess, get TikTok, or maybe another big social media platform, but I think there's going to be a huge wave of stories that aren't going to be controlled or be able to be controlled, and it's going to spread like wildfire, and I think people are going to be really unhappy, or essentially industry insiders are going to be really unhappy, and I think it actually I think it's going to ruin a few projects or new business ventures for some people that they were not expecting. And it's going to lose some people some money. Just like some initial thoughts and stuff there. So going into kind of how like her immediate family is going to like be affected from this book. What I'm getting is the Fool. The Fool reversed. So the Fool upright is all about being spontaneous, doing different things. I think here, and the Fool reversed here reminds me of they aren't able to run away from their duties and responsibilities anymore from what they were trying to run away from. So an example of it would be potentially, so Britney is writing her book, and in it, like, it's like her dad, we all know, was her conservator for many years, and he has kind of just left things be. He hasn't had any really big consequences other than kind of just being cut off from Britney, which is a huge consequence in itself. But I think here with the book and in them, it's like, oh, you know, this one thing that, like, you told me that, like, this project that you wanted me to work on, like, 5 years ago. Oh, yeah, you know, that project, that one that you're like, oh, you said this, but you did another thing. No, I'm telling everyone about that, and you can't hide from it anymore. Like, you can't say it's almost like the lies are, some people could say lies are being revealed, but I see this as, Britney's family, they aren't going to be able to run away or ignore or prance off into sunset being seen as ignorant anymore about the things that went on around Britney during her time, like during the time frame that she's writing about her book this time. And I don't think it's going to paint anyone in a good light. I'm going to probably pull some more clarifiers on that. On her family here, but that's what I'm kind of seeing with her, just initially with her family, like, because, you know, it's like they aren't able to run away from stuff anymore. Yeah, with her family, and kind of like, what is this book gonna do to her family? So we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I think this is, yeah, so they aren't able to run away from anything. So kind of just going off of this card. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Magician, and then we have the Hangman. In conjunction with all of this, Britney is speaking her truth, and I think she's letting it rip. She's letting people either who have been really close to her, like, I know with Justin Timberlake, there was her old boyfriend, they are, like, that's something that's kind of being revealed. But with the Magician, the Hangman, and the Knight of Pentacles, I really do see it as, this has been a long time coming. These are things that she's always wanted to say. These are things that she's kind of probably held really close to her chest. And so I see her kind of like letting it rip is like the best in the best way possible. She's like, so you did this here, you did this here, you did this here, and none of this is petty, by the way. I don't feel any petty energy from this. I feel like, no, this is pretty just and pretty deserved on what I'm saying, because this is what happened. I will let the public let the public know, and then, you know what, they can be the jury on it. But I think with her, when it comes to her family, like, she is really just letting it rip. And it's been a lot of held resentment. It's been a lot of held stories that she hasn't been able to tell before. And she's able to communicate them now, like I'm seeing here with the magician. And she's able to communicate them really well. She's able to communicate them efficiently and effectively. And it's going to, like people are going to sit there and actually listen, and be like, that's kind of messed up. So... I'm really happy to see this for her, as she is kind of just like taken in. She is really stepping into her power and really stepping into who she wants to be and who she wants to showcase in this world. And she's letting go of the baggage that she's gotten, and she's dropping it at the path where she's moving towards next, which is super, super cool to see. And I'm really happy to see that, like, that's a direction that she's going in, especially when it comes to not even just like, this is like about her family and what she's saying about her family, but just in her in general, because I feel like her family's been a really big stressor for her throughout her entire life, which, I mean, we've seen that in online and in media and with the conservatorship. So I think really being able to step into her own is, and really definitively mark that barrier in the sand, feels liberating. I think as fans, as people who are watching, just watching the whole everything going down with Britney, I think it's a really, really, really good story of breaking free of past traumas and being able to move forward from it. So amazing. Congratulations. I'm super excited to see what's going to come out of it. So, okay. So the next question I kind of wanted to see is kind of what's next for Britney when it comes to when it coming out from the book. What are things that she's kind of, what are things projects or things that she's gonna work on next? Just wanna look at it, and so I'm going to look at the underlying projects. So how I'm going to do this is like the general energy of the projects that she's or like the energy of coming off of the book. I'm going to look at kind of the lessons or challenges that might be there. And then we're going to look at just some other like clarification or advice in this scenario. So kind of looking at coming off of the projects themselves right now, or like kind of what's next. So I see the Queen of Swords. I think she's going to be entering into. So Queen of Swords is kind of like standing up, speaking your truth, saying what you need to say. I can see more music coming. I definitely see more music coming. Maybe a couple new songs. Like coming off of the book. I see her being more confident in what she's saying. I see her more confident in what she's speaking and how she's communicating. And like I automatically think we have a new song coming, either a new song or single, or she's gonna maybe start working on a new album of some sort, or we're gonna hear from her directly. So I'm really excited to see that coming off of this book. And I think the sound is not going to be something that we're expecting from Britney. I wouldn't doubt if we actually hear a completely different, I don't know why blues comes to my mind, but I'm hearing like blues, or like I feel like it's a very different genre of music than than what we've heard or what we've expected. I'm not I don't think it's going like back into like the pop era. I really, really do feel like it's almost kind of like a reinvention of the wheel a little bit, almost kind of similar to Taylor Swift, where she kind of goes to different genres. I can definitely see Britney kind of branching out and exploring different types of music and expressing herself that way, which I'm like, okay, I like specifically, I would love to hear Britney sing a blues song. Like that would be, that would sound, because, okay. Just imagine it for me and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But I think that would sound beautiful. So kind of looking at the challenges here. So there's a King of Pentacles as the challenge with the things coming up. So kind of like off of the book. So I don't know if she might have issues with like a record label. I don't know if she has issues with like getting into a record label, or if like there's going to be someone who's kind of like guiding her to a record label that she shouldn't be with, or it could be potentially just a male figure in general who's kind of, I think, come after her a bit for what's kind of happening, which might lead into delays of some projects, or it could lead into just like lots of infighting, but I don't see it as infighting amongst like a close group of friends. I think it's like infighting between business partners. And maybe that's kind of going back to that Six of Swords with the industry, where it's like, yeah, the industry is kind of like, what do we do with this? Expose some of our secrets. What do we do with this? And who's going to kind of want to work with her, or who's not going to want to work with her? So I definitely see there's going to be some people are going to try and maneuver, and they're going to try and maneuver blue ball, and kind of just, I think, legitimately just try and stagnate things for her, kind of off of this book. But like I said, like I'm gonna say, I think Britney's the emperor, or like that's how she's perceived, and that's how I think that is very much like the energy I'm getting of her. I think she's gonna definitely be able to maneuver around these sticky individuals who are kind of wanting to her to like just, you know what, you stayed put for a while. Why don't you just stay put some more? And it's like, no. So I see that as kind of like the bigger challenge there. I think it's a record label or someone of that sort that's going to be causing a lot of issues. Looking at the advice, I have the Sun here, but it's Sun reversed as the advice. So I'm seeing this as getting uncomfortable with things, and maybe trying a completely different record label that you didn't think about. But it's also, as the advice, having the Sun reverse is kind of unhappiness. And I think it's almost taking your unhappiness, or like all the unhappiness or the negative emotions, and then translating it into something that almost everyone can feel. Because I see that as like the advice, and it's like, use your unhappiness and channel it into something that can be, and channeling it for a song you can potentially do, or even like a song or a project of some sort that's maybe a little bit darker than what we're used to seeing from Britney. But I really do see this as like a turning point of like, I think you're going to get some really, really, really raw emotions. You're going to get some really raw takes. And I see kind of moving past the book, and kind of like what are these next things that we're seeing. I see a raw side to Britney that is not holding back, not hiding behind a mask, and showcasing that every person, from the most famous of pop stars to the person who's trying to make a living out of their car, working their minimum wage job. And I see it as she's going to be able to bridge the gap and be able to connect with everyone and anyone in between, the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. And I see that as an immense strength, and something that some people in the world aren't ready to see and or hear, but is desperately needed. So, super exciting there with that. And then I wanted to we'll do one last one last thing here with Britney, and we'll just do kind of like a general, let's do something general with her family. No, not her family. Just with how is she going to be with her fans and her family, and like how does her moving forward in life kind of look. I know she's been wanting a family of her own, but we have so much things falling out. But just want to see kind of what's actually really next for her when it just comes to stuff. So this card fell out before with her family, and I see that as the Eight of Cups. She's walking away from them. I think she's walking away from her family pretty hardcore. I don't think she wants to be there. I don't think she needs to be there. So I think she's doing pretty good on her own. And then kind of just looking at what's next for her here, I have just some general cards that kind of flew out. So we have the Page of Pentacles reversed with the Seven of Cups and then the Hierophant. So the Hierophant for me has always been the big machine, the big man, the big job. And then the Seven of Cups, many different opportunities. And then the Page of Pentacles is almost like dragging, sometimes could be dragging the feet, but it also could just be unsure of projects or next steps. So I think looking at that, this makes me feel very much like Britney has a lot of opportunities to make money that will be put in front of her, whether or not that's music, whether or not that's a skincare line, a clothing line, or even like a makeup brand. Like, it could be like a complete new set of like hair clips or hair bands or something. But I see her as she has a lot of different opportunities in front of her. I think like the Hierophant here is that like all of them are going to be really good opportunities for her to be able to like work with, that aren't just music. And then, with the Page of Pentacles, I think it's just trying to figure out what's the right one. Page of Pentacles could be like a small loss of finances. But in this case, I actually see this as there's a lot of things that are being offered to her, and it's almost like it's an overwhelming sense of too many things being kind of like thrown at her to be like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. And it's overwhelming, so it's like almost like it's too much information all at once. Kind of looking at it. I wouldn't expect anything here. I'm getting like June of like 2024. Be kind of on the lookout for some potential new projects released by Britney, whether or not that's a new business or a new brand, or even like new music or something. But I'm really on the perspective of, I think it's a new business venture for her. And I just hear June of 2024 is like a time to probably, it might be launched or it might be announced, and it's kind of in that's kind of what I'm getting from there. So do we have any other messages? No. So with that, I would like to wrap up the general reading for Britney. I'm super excited for her new book to come out. I'd highly recommend going and getting it if you are interested, as it comes out tomorrow as of the time I'm filming this. So thank you all for sticking around for the reading. If you liked it, please like or leave a comment down below. You can tell me about what sort of genre would you like to see Britney potentially go into other than pop. And please hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you saw here today. I have more videos where I do different readings about individuals here on YouTube or in pop culture. So thanks for sticking around, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and see you next time. Bye, guys.